Hello, 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 everybody. Hello, 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 and welcome to the show. I realise I'm a little bit off centre. I hope that doesn't bother too many people. I've also noticed that a panel is coming off, just so some of the OCD lot of you may find that disconcerting. Try to avoid it. Anyway, yes, I am just waffling because I've just going live and I want the audience just to start building up a little bit before we get into the meat of today's show. I'd like to talk a little bit before I get into that, though, a little bit about the past few days. I was absolutely delighted to take part in the Dutch Modular Fest over in Rotterdam this weekend, and that was a really fantastic event. There was some amazing things going on there, although I didn't get to see a lot of it because I was running my Mutable Instruments challenge. So those of you who've been watching my channel will be aware that I am running this challenge. Oh, I am so off center here. That's because I'm all lined up for over here, so sorry about this. Hey, Asio Head said he met me. Yes, he did. That was amazing. So Asio Head is somebody who's been got in the chat room. Oh, hey, Fiona. Didn't mean to show that. But yeah, Asio Head is a long-time viewer of Sonic State, and to actually meet him in person was a real thrill. I wonder if I can just move this mic here a little bit. Yeah, the show was amazing, really, and a great success. And kudos to Bart and Alet and everyone else who was involved in running that show. It's great to see something that's continuing to grow. And the Mutable Challenge was fantastic. We had 4 different people take the challenge. Well, 5 actually, because Alet had a little stint at the end of the day. And the Mutable Challenge was everybody taking like an hour or up to an hour to create a patch from scratch on exactly the same modules, in this case the complete range of Mutable Instruments. Yeah, nice. Hello everyone joining. Hello, so hello Wagyu, hello Dots, hey, nice. Tanith and Fiona, hello. Yeah, okay, so just getting ready to go, and then we'll tackle this thorny subject of Midi in Eurorack. Well, it's not really thorny, it's just a blatant bit of clickbait. But anyway, yeah, the challenges were great. The 4 different people who took 5, I said Alet took the challenge as well. Younger Son was the first one to take the challenge, and followed by August Berber, August Berber, and Jungle of Wires, Mandy Baker, and then Paul Voss from Error Instruments as well. And it was really good fun, and everybody really enjoyed it. So there is videos to come. So there will be a video series about this Mutable Challenge. So keep tuned for that. I'm not sure exactly when that's going to start, but I've got quite a lot filmed of it now. So yeah, good. Really exciting. Lots of people came up and said thought it was a really great thing, and to celebrate the wonderful legacy of Mutable Instruments, which is the point of this particular project. Anyway, I think we will get stuck in a moment. Hi Di, hi Feed Me Synthesis. Great. Okay, we got an audience. This is great. Okay, so let's have a look. Oh, the Unperson. Hello there, sir. Royalty indeed. Yeah, so shall I get stuck in? Yeah, why not? Right. So I said in the show title here, does Midi belong in Eurorack? And it's a little bit of a silly thing to say in a way, because of course it does ultimately. But I mean, the fact that Eurorack typically is lots and lots and lots of patch cables to do things, where one cable with Midi can carry such an awful lot of control signals, note volumes, note choices, note lengths, CC values, program change, and especially now MIDI is on 3.5mm jack. That was something I was initially really upset about, mostly because of this daft MIDI A, MIDI B thing. MIDI was great because like a MIDI cable just worked universally, and now because some devices are MIDI A and some MIDI devices are MIDI B, you get this really confusing thing of it just not working until, and it's not always super obvious. Manufacturers, you should really make it really like mega obvious. Front page, if it's a MIDI A or MIDI B, just make it dead obvious. Quite often it's really buried and it's super annoying. Oxy have got the right idea. Oxy, who make my beloved Oxy One Mark II sequencer, they do a MIDI interface for the Oxy called the Split, and the Split Mark II has got little switches where you can choose whether it's MIDI A or MIDI B, so at least that's a step in the right direction. But it's such a shame that we've got this situation now where some things work and some things don't work. Oh, hello Technomatic, thank you so much for helping me. Yes, thank you very much for helping me pack everything down and to help carry all the stuff back to the hotel. Thank you, sir. Very, very kind. You are a very kind man. Oh, let's see. What else Wagu's saying here? MIDI Association has standardized on one of the two types. So, yeah, it's an A and B, and, you know, it's annoying. It's annoying because, you know, just connecting with a 3.5mm stereo cable, it is kind of convenient with small modules. You know, obviously on a Eurorack module, a MIDI port is pretty massive considering just how small all the other sockets are. So it does make sense for it to be 3.5mm. However, with this annoying, is it a MIDI A or MIDI B thing? Oh, God, it is annoying. However, yeah, MIDI A is the one that's been made the official MIDI standard. And what was kind of a bit frustrating about that was it was just Korg, I think, who were doing it in the MIDI A years ago when the first devices started appearing with MIDI on 3.5mm jacks. I know that Arturia and Novation and I think Polyend, a bunch of others were all using what is now known as the B standard. I think it was only Korg, possibly someone else, I can't remember who, were using it in the way it's wired. It's just like which way it's wired, but I guess Korg, being the big boys, kind of won out, and now we've got this situation of A and B. However, there are worse things in the world to get worried about, but it does kind of wind me up somewhat. Right. Hello there, Robbie. I'm assuming it's Robbie. Yeah, nice to have Pro Synth Network represented. Okay, so we say, you know, MIDI is still a phenomenal invention. MIDI 2.0 has been incredibly slow to be taken up by manufacturers, and it's quite puzzling why that is, but I think some of them are just not really seeing it as particularly worth their while when MIDI 1 is still so good. But I guess we will see it eventually as the benefits become more obvious. I certainly think with MPE devices and other things which may need more MIDI kind of data, I guess, for there's a bunch of benefits. I'm not going to get into that right now, partly because I can't remember. But it is backwards compatible, as Wagyu correctly says. Yeah, Dave Smith, really the man who pulled MIDI all together. R.I.P. A great man and a lovely guy. Yeah, he was lovely. I was so glad to have met him on a few occasions. I did an interview with him for Sonic State. Some of you may have seen, but if you haven't seen it, I really urge you to see it, because I decided not to talk to him about gear, but to talk to him about his music taste. And he was a bit surprised by that, because everybody would, you know, he would expect he would normally be interviewed about the gears. So to be interviewed about his music taste, I thought it might be quite interesting to like learn. And I was like really keen to hear about all the kind of 70s stuff that I love. Anyway, when I wrapped the interview up, I was thanking him for taking time to do this. And he said, wait a minute, you haven't talked to me about new stuff. And then we had to edit a little bit on the end of that video because he was so much more animated and excited and enthusiastic to talk about new music. And based in San Francisco, he would say that when artists were coming through, he would often get invited to concerts and be on the guest list, which he always was really humbled by, and then would proceed to sort of talk about like modern music with much more gusto and excitement. And I just thought that that was a really brilliant character sort of detail about him. He said his all-time favorite band was Radiohead, which was, you know, a bit of a surprise to me. And at the time, he was really raving about Paris Monster, which are a really great duo. They're well worth checking out if you don't know them. But yeah, I felt a bit foolish by just assuming maybe that he was more into the old stuff rather than the new stuff. So it was great. The last time I saw him, I saw him at Super Booth, and I saw that he'd come outside to kind of get in the sunshine, and he was looking quite frail, bless him. And he came out and he had a big smile on his face, and he just like sort of turned his face up to the sun and was smiling. And I was going to go over and say hello, but then I just thought he was just having this really lovely, peaceful moment. I'm sure people have just been talking to him all day. I just let him be, and then sadly he died shortly after that. You know, I can't remember the date of his death, but it wasn't that long after that particular Super Booth, and it of course just was just a enormous loss. But what a heritage, and what a great man. Right. Okay. Oh, Andrew Brooks. Hello. Have I said hello to everyone? Well, okay. I'm gonna. If I miss you, sorry. Oh, Exit 101. You don't like Radiohead, do you? I'm a bit of a fan, so I quite like that. Okay. Right. Does Midi belong in Eurorack? Yes. So we've already established that yes, it does. But the point of tonight really is I wanted to sort of turn our attention to the Monumatic from Knobula, because I believe that this module really is. I mean, there have been a few along similar lines. And from Knobula themselves, and this essentially is the Polyphonic Mark II, or you know, it's an evolution on there. But I think this idea of really small, complete voices is really appealing. And I believe that in a few years from now, we'll see a lot more of these. And for those of you, Robbie, for instance, who don't like Eurorack, I think this might be something that might make sense. The fact that you could have a small little case. Now, this is an empty case. I decided just to only have the single module in the case tonight. I thought it might be quite fun because, you know, if this was just the only thing, the only module that you had, it's so capable. I thought it'd be nice. I've taken it out of the big case that it lives in, the Damaru, one of my live cases, to put it in. I was going to do it in my live case, but then I thought, no, let's take it out and let's feature it on its own, so we can really dig into this. Now, and as you can see, I've just got a my Volts stereo jack coming into the Midi in, and I've got audio out coming out. So it might be good to have had a modulation. I'll take a modulation source out of the Oxy. Let me just get a cable. Okay, so I didn't bother putting a camera on the Oxy one that's below here, so apologies for that. But I'm just going to use the Oxy one as a MIDI source. Should I get another camera out? Oh. I might later, but probably not. No, I'll leave it like this. But I'm going to take a CV out though from the Oxy one, and then I've got a potential modulation, external modulation source that I can patch in. But yeah, now I'm sure many of you have already checked out the Monumatic. But those of you who haven't, I will give a little step through stuff as well. But I really also want to go through the different oscillator modes. This thing is packed full of goodies. And sometimes when you're talking about synthesizers or modules, you talk about like finding the sweet spot. Well, this one is just all sweet spots. It really is quite incredible just how good it sounds and how many good features are built into this, and why I think this kind of thing is going to do really, maybe the way things are going is obviously it's a digital module, and being able to have such a fully featured synth in such a small, this 12 HP kind of form factor is, I don't know, it's brilliant. You can imagine if you had a few different ones in a small case, you could have a really powerful multi-timbral kind of synthesizer made up of different synth modules. There's some other superb ones in the Knobula range, like the Pianophonic, which I'd really love to get. 12 HP. Superb. So I mentioned it's a complete voice, and so starting from the top, you've got an envelope section where you've got essentially like an attack and a kind of release decay type thing, and then you've got this decay sustain, or that's release, and this is a decay sustain which has got a center notch. It's quite an unusual approach, but it's really playable. Beneath that, we've got a filter section, and we can choose how much of that envelope is affecting the filter. The filter also has a drive switch, and it also has 6 different modes, which is pretty cool. And then below, and key tracking switch as well, with like a 3-step off, I think, is it 50% and 100. And then below that, we've got the oscillator section, which has got this detune knob, which is the best detune knob I've ever come across, and the oscillator selection knob, of which there are 16 different ones. And then below that is the effects section, which is just a single knob which has got a reverb on, and if you hold, there's a shift button, and we're able to turn on a chorus as well. So as an effect, you've got just a chorus, which is an on or off kind of affair, the shift button, and then you've got a little toggle button which toggles between poly and polyphonic or monophonic. And also, which is kind of cool, is you can drive it from CV and gate or MIDI. I tried having them both in to see what would happen, and somehow it was, even with nothing coming into the volt per octave, it seemed to change the tuning. I'm not sure that they can coexist, one or the other. But what is cool though, if you are using it without MIDI, then the polyphonic nature of this is great, because you can have voices that hang on long, and then they build up. I can do a little bit of that with the Oxy. I can send a monophonic signal into the Monumatic to simulate, to show that kind of effect. So yeah, okay, let's hear some sounds. That's what you're here. That's what you all want, right? I'm going to see if I've got. No, I'll leave that off for now. I'll just get it up on here. I'm just going to get the list of the of what each of the 16 oscillator modes do. Few things first. Knobula have sent this over for a review, which I'm very grateful about. and the price of it, I think, is around £345. I think is the let's have a look. I'll have a look what Elevator Sound is selling it for. Bear with me. Elevator. The Monumatic. Okay, so sorry, 399. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of not cheap, but it's also not crazy expensive either. And I think, given how deep and how flexible it is, I think that's actually pretty decent. Just looking at this, the Monumatic, I'm just having a look if let's have a look at any. Okay, and it comes in two different panels. You can get it in a completely black panel, which looks really nice, or this sort of tricolour one, which also looks quite nice. And I think this is something that brings it in line with the other modules in the Knobula range. Okay, let's get you back. Okay, so sorry, chatties, if you want to ask me questions, there'll be a time where I can answer those, but I'm going to be a little bit distracted, so apologies for now. But thank you so much for joining me. I'll stop in a bit and then check for questions if that's okay. Okay, we were talking about getting some sound up, and that's what we're going to do. So, here we go. I'm going to get the details up. So as I'm looking at the details, I won't be able to see the chat, I'm afraid. Okay, just getting the docs up. I had it up on my other computer, but blah blah blah. Okay, right. So I'm going to get the oscillator, the different modes up, so we can see and just sort of like explain a little bit which one's which, and yeah. Oh, actually, and before I do that, I'll just mention about the filters, because you've got 6 different filter types. There's a little 3-way toggle and then a little switch which switches it between like sort of bank 1 or bank 2, giving you 6 different filter models in total. So you've got a low pass 24 decibel. It says a Butterworth low pass filter, and then there's a 4-stage all-pass filter for phase shift effects and a vowel filter for creating vocal effects. So, you know, in that case, you turn the filter frequency to morph between different vowel sounds. Then you've got like a 12 dB low-pass filter, a notch filter, and a 12 dB high-pass filter. So, yeah, so pretty comprehensive. And you've also got a little switch for oscillator drive as well. Now, I mentioned that the detune knob is the best detune knob I've ever come across, and I think why that is that there's all sorts of stuff that's just super cool with it. Depending on the oscillator mode, the detune control will either detune each oscillator from unison to fifth to octave, or it'll control different characteristics within the waveform itself. Oh, and actually, with the shift button, hold shift to change the temperament from equal to just, or to unjust. Interesting. Okay. here we are though. I was just going through the manual to get to the oscillator modes. As I say, we got 12 oscillator modes, and number 1, which is what we're on, is oscillator sync. And we got 3 flavors of oscillator sync. We've got sawtooth. Let's just go through these. Square. Oh, sorry, two versions of that. Then we got a CZ. Let's just change. So, like, this is the CZ, and you can hear straight away how this detune knob just does really cool things. So yeah, it's kind of cool. It's really cool. I'll put some of the reverb on as well, because the reverb is lovely. Keep it dry for now. Let's let me just jump back to the oscillator sync though, and just try this detune. What a knob. That one I'm talking about. It's actually quite like subtle movements as well on that. It is really interesting. I just remembered something that I forgot to mention. The Rack Records event, which is part of Machina Bristronica this year, 25th of September, that's on the Thursday before the main event on a Saturday, is going to follow our Rack Records, that's Steve Davis and mine, our record label, of which we've got our vinyl coming through. We are becoming a proper label, so we're really excited about that. We're just waiting from the manufacturers to send us the records. I'll give more details about that once we get hold of them. But we're doing this event, and actually I'm really happy that Jason Mayo from Knobula is going to be one of the people who are taking part in that. If you've seen the Rack Records launch that we did last year, we're going to do it in the same way. This is an amazing event where we've got 8 different musicians who are going to be drawn at random at the beginning of the night to play in pairs, which cycling around in 15 minutes. So each person gets to play with 2 different people, and the same format as our other show, but the hook being this time everyone who's taking part is a manufacturer. Well, they're either a manufacturer or a representative, or like a main representative of the manufacturer. But so we've got, I think I've mentioned this before, but we've got this incredible array of people. So, but yeah, with Jason from Knobula. So we're really glad that he can take part in this. Anyway, I digress from the thing. Just check the chatties. It's in the Cube Cinema in Bristol, which is a really lovely venue. It's a proper cinema. So we're going to have, it's a full-size cinema screen where we're going to have amazing visuals from Sloon and Putty Rubber, who did our last show as well. Yeah. Oh, thank you, Wagyu, for sharing that information. Yeah. So, yeah, I have to say, there is only, I think, 7 tickets left. Oh, there are only 7 tickets left, I think. So if you are interested, you better get your skates on, because they will all sell out pretty soon. Okay. But please come along if you can. It's going to be a really special night, I think. In all the time I've been involved in the music tech industry, I've never known anything quite like this to happen. So a really special event. I'm really excited about it. Quite interested to see how Paul Whittington from PWM is going to fare, because the majority of the others are more Eurorack based artists, but Paul will be bringing his Mantis along, maybe the Malevolent too. And Paul's a more traditional keyboard player, although an excellent improviser. So, you know, it's just going to be fascinating. I am going to film the old event though, so if you can't make it, you will get a chance to see it anyway. So keep tuned. Thank you, Wagyu, for showing. This is where the tickets are, and from Head First. But yeah, there's not many tickets. We need something like this in Bath. Yeah, of course. But yeah. Anyway, I digress from the purpose of tonight. Okay, let's get back to it. Right, so I'm working my way through the different oscillator modes, paying attention to this detune control, but also it'd be nice just to try it with the different filters as well, because they've got different flavors. The drive is nice. Switch that in. That's the thing with it being polyphonic. You do get these overlaps, you see. And that's where this little button down here is very handy, where you can turn it into a monophonic synth. And then here's that phase shift. Here's some resonance. Filter mouth. Okay, I think I'm going to get a little sequence on the go so I can have both my hands free. Yeah. Cool. Good nighty night, Andrew Brooks. I know it's a little late side of things for some of you, but thank you so much for everybody else who is sticking with us. Oh, okay. The synth is louder than my voice. Okay, a little bit more vocal. There we go. Maybe that'll be better. Better. Yeah, okay. I think... right, okay. Get a little sequence on the go. I use a stochastic sequence so I don't have to worry too much about the notes. And let's just get something on the go, and then I'll do for the moment. This thing sounds great. Okay. Right, I'm just gonna spin through these now. Okay. We got up to the CZ. Okay. So in 4 we have a PWM. It's juicy, isn't it? So on the Oxy allows you to create instrument definitions, which there's a load of preset ones, or you can make your own up. And I've started making one up for the Monumatic. I haven't quite finished it yet, but I've got maybe, you know, about a third of the parameters in this instrument definition. Basically, what it means is when you create a track on the Oxy, or I say create a track, when you configure a track, if you're using it with over Midi, then you can use these instrument definitions, which basically mean that when you go to the modulation page, everything's kind of the list that you, rather than just looking through a list of CCs, everything is labeled and named appropriately. So, like for instance, you know, if I wanted to modulate the filter, I'll do that now. I'll go to the modulation page. Sorry, you can't see this. Oh, first of all, I'm just going to configure the channel to be a to pick the Monumatic, and then in the mod page, then when I look to remap things, yeah, great, they're all labeled, which is great. So I can create some filter modulation, or I should be able to. I didn't turn it on. Haha. Just haha. Yeah, so nice and easy to set up. Okay, where do we get to? PWM. So we get pulse. You get a little description here. Unison. Oh yeah, and this control is unison, fifth, and sub-octave. And pulse width changes in between the detune zones. Yeah, nice. And there's this, I didn't mention it earlier, there's this really cool little kind of pitch knob here, which you can change the pitch. But what's handy about it is center notched. And so you get a perfect octave above. Nice. Okay, keeping going through here now. 3 oscillators, square wave. Oh, well, with that pulse wave as well, that was a 3 oscillator. Ah. Nice. Okay, now we get square with like a percussive. Oh, it's got 3 square. Oscillator 3 is a ring modulated short decay envelope. I'm just going to get a better sequence. Let's just get some. Still in this mono mode now. Go back to poly mode. See how quick it is just to get places on this. Okay. Okay, next. Organ. Jazz organ with a percussion 5th. I think we could do with a chord sequence now, so I'll set up a chord track. Just mute that sequence a minute. So 8 voice. Yeah, so we got that organ there. What else we got? We got another organ. So we got 3 organs actually. These different organs here. Make it sound really cathedral-like now. and the last of the organs. I just think it sounds really good. Everything you do on it just sounds really good. Okay. Oh yeah, now this one's a good one. Number 11 is like a Selena strings kind of sound. So let's just go dry first. Oh yeah, I could turn the chorus on. Ah, I forgot about the chorus. Oh, the chorus is cool. Okay, I'm just going to speed through the rest of these. We're nearly through. So that's the ensemble of Selena. Then we get like a noisy tape. So it's sort of it says 2 oscillator saw modulated by noise in opposite phase and tape effect on main output. Okay, so let's have a listen to this. I'll take the chorus off for a moment. No, I think I was out of step here. I think I start 1 there. I think I might have been a little bit out on a few of them, but whoops. Okay, so what else have we got? And then we've got LFO times 8, so X8 rather, and that's an Oberheim X8 inspired string sound using 8 independent LFOs, 1 for each voice. I think that's right. I need to, can't quite see the panel legend. Let me just look. Oh yeah. Okay, so this is it now. This is the okay, and then we've got the LFO Vox, so the Polymoog Vox, the Vox Humana inspired, SAW and PWM square oscillators modulated by 3 LFOs. Let's try that now. Just checking, I'm definitely on the right ones here. The panel's a little small for me to read, but it's oh yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah, nice. Okay, and then we've got our two super saws. Oh no, I was all right before, yeah. So we got super saw full, that's 7 oscillator super saw equally mixed. Super saw mild, that's or mid, not mild. No, oops. 7 oscillator super saw, oscillator 1 is dominant. Here we go. Bit of reverb and some chorus. And then we're back to the beginning, which was the sawtooth sync. So nice. Yeah. Okay, so I've just stepped through all of the oscillator modes, albeit a bit clumsily, but hope you're getting an idea of the sound of this. Oh, I'm just kind of noticing now that there are panel legending, which is saying that to the right are more, let me just verify that. Yeah, more like square, and to the, and then sort of clockwise are more square based, and then counterclockwise are more sawtooth based. I sort of think maybe that's what those, that's why the little line indicators are there for. Okay. Oh yeah, so with the reverb, if we hold shift and turn the reverb, we can change the reverb time. Maxed it out now. Really slow attack. This thing is cool. I feel that it's such an intelligently designed and laid out, you know, for like, this is a small module, 12 HP, but yet there's so much in here. What do you guys think of it? I mean, I'm coming over now to the chat room. Let's see. Oh, hello, Get Jervis. How nice to see you. Yeah. Cool. So I've missed any. All right, I've missed the chat. So sorry. Let me just catch up with anyone. So you're saying you're a huge MIDI guy here, or just say use whatever it takes to get whatever you want. Yeah, I mean, my title's a little bit clickbaity, or just yeah. So yeah, I think it's it's just that thing, isn't it? It's sort of like, you know, one cable. One cable can do so much. Now, I haven't mentioned, though, what the inputs are. So I did mention that we've got a CV and gate. There's a dedicated input for the filter. But what's really cool now with the two, you've got a CVA and a CVB. And what's quite nice with them, and we'll see if we can demonstrate this now. I'm going to set up a CV output from the from the Oxy CV1, I'm going to set that to being an LFO output. And then when you plug in to either CV or A or CVB, as soon as you plug in, we'll see that when you plug in, the little light flashes and then it goes off. So you get a little moment. So if when I plug that in, if I was to choose like this detune control, I moved that when it was flashing, and therefore CVA is mapped now to the detune control. That's a really cool little way of mapping things, isn't it? So really simple. You just have that moment just to kind of wiggle something, and well, thank you. Yeah, it's cool. Hello, Tom Curtin. Tom's going to be involved helping us with running the event, the Rack Records event, which I mentioned earlier, handling sound. So thank you, Tom, in advance for that. We've also got Arkaton. Now, he came with me to Rotterdam along with our good friend Eric, and that was really we got back yesterday, so still just in recovery mode somewhat, but yeah, we had a fantastic time. Okay, let's go back to this though. So we can modulate that, I think. Set this to mod 1. I think I'm doing something wrong here. clicking on the drive for the filter. Harmonize this melody to our chord track. Oops. Trying to get what I'm doing. Sorry, I've got the Oxy off screen, which was a bit daft of me really, but so I've got two tracks running on the Oxy, one which is like a melody track, like a monophonic melody track, and another which is a chord track, and both of them are addressing the Monumatic, obviously, just getting the levels of them. Okay, there we go. Now when I change the chords, the melody track will follow it. Different mode. So yeah, what do you guys think? I think it's a really amazing module. And I mean, to answer the question, does MIDI belong in Eurorack? I would say absolutely, you know. Also, what we've been seeing as well lately is we've been seeing like MIDI through modules coming out, which are really handy. So you can imagine like having lots of small, like in this case a 12 HP module, maybe a bunch of different ones with a little MIDI through module, and just really like a really small portable MIDI rig. And it was kind of occurring to me that this is, you know, if you were using lots of small desktop units, like lots of, I don't know, Roland boutique ones, or their IRA compact range, Volkers, different small MIDI devices, they actually get quite complex and difficult to move around. Lots of them, you'd have to just be setting them up and patching them all the time. If you wanted to kind of just take it off somewhere for a jam session, for instance. Whereas if you've got a nice little portable Eurorack case with a bunch of these small modules that are already pre-patched, you know, starts to make a lot more sense. And some people who kind of think Eurorack is really expensive, I think well, I mean, it is expensive. Let's not beat around the bush here. It is expensive, but I mean, it is in most cases very small manufacturers, quite often just a one-person operation, making, you know, very small runs of things. And then once the shop puts its, you know, the shop takes its cut, etc. You know, these things do kind of get a bit expensive. But I suppose when I was making though, like this synth, just if you just got a tiny little case with this synth in it, there's an enormous amount that you can do with it, as I hope you've kind of got some, you know, idea of tonight. You need one of these. Yeah, useful to have in a system. Yeah. Because Andy has a HerMod Plus, the Monumatic integrates really seamlessly into his case. Yeah, okay, that makes sense, doesn't it? You know, like, you know, driving it from something like the HerMod Plus, or in my case, the Oxy, or you could be using any number of MIDI sequencers. Yeah, it just becomes like a really, I don't know. For me, this is not what I first thought about Eurorack. You know, I mean, this is where we're at now, 2025. You know, the Monumatic, I think, I can imagine in a few years' time that there will be other things. I mean, as I say, Knobula do have like the Polyphonic and that would be a really nice counter for this. But these sort of small format, highly versatile modules, I suppose you could say sort of braids or plats from Mutable Instruments kind of kicked this sort of stuff off, or certainly did a really good job at it of making, because you can use plats really pretty standalone, and in fact you can use braids more or less standalone as well. But I think the Monumatic takes it to the next step with the effects and with more functional kind of envelopes and filters, a little bit more standard. Something I haven't talked about though, whoa, is this big button here, which triggers chords. And do you know what? I haven't used that yet. I haven't found the need to do it, but yeah, you've got a chord trigger button there, and you can change the chord. You can change what chord it is as well. But I'm doing something wrong, so I'll ignore that. But yeah, there's a chord button. Always kind of useful in a way though, to at least be able to always hear something without having anything plugged in. But anyway, I think I'm going to probably end the stream in a moment. I've kind of covered everything that I wanted to talk about. Asio Head, yeah. Hello. Lovely to meet you. Finally, after all these years. I mentioned that at the top of the show. Really great to, you know, finally meet after, yeah, literally, I don't know, 15 years or something. So that was great. But yeah. Oh, let's see what Grace is saying. Andy has a 2 HP 1 in 6 through MIDI strip with little switches to swap the polarity per through. Yeah, that's great. That's modular. I think Peter makes that, doesn't he? That's great, because the little switches that work, you can switch it from MIDI A to MIDI B on the front panel, but a really good little extra use of that is that they work like when you switch it from MIDI A to B, when say the device is a MIDI A and you switch it to MIDI B, it's a really cool way to do a little mute, to have a little mute signal to mute your MIDI flow. Yeah, that's really handy. So yeah, 1 in, 6 through. Yeah, neat. Did some of you see that Electron dropped a little teaser earlier today? Something coming, something new. We haven't seen anything new from Electron since the Syntact, maybe. And the big question is, when will they do the new Octatrack? And is this coming? Is this the thing that's coming? The new Octatrack? I don't know. No, Electron like to do their funky funniness. Get Jervis is suggesting that it's the Digitone 2, which didn't we see that? Haven't they done that already? Or is it just the... Didn't we see like Hexatrack? That would be cool. No, I mean, I've got an Octatrack here, and as good as it is, it's really desperately in need of an update. I mean, it's still using compact flash. I mean, they're still selling a product with compact flash and USB 1 that you can't even do MIDI over the USB port. I mean, it's so decrepit, it's ancient. So, but it's a wonderful, wonderful, wonderful machine. So, then that would be a terrific thing if they do finally come up with a new one. Ooh, Analog 8 maybe. That's quite interesting. So Grace Griffin, I still feel that my Analog Rhythm 2 has more to explore. I love that box so much. It is fantastic. I mean, it is fantastic. I really, really rate that thing. I mean, sadly, my Electron boxes don't get an awful lot of use these days since I've gone deep into the modular sphere. But I do look at them. They're just over here. I do look at them and kind of daydream about them a little bit. I've been really trying to focus, though, on modular in the last couple of years. And when I think about the Electron stuff, and I think about it's a very cerebral workflow with Electron. The knobs are kind of unlabeled. You've got a small screen. You have to know your way around them. You need to know how the signal flows through them, and you kind of need to have it all in your head because it's not always apparent. The visuals, I think, are maybe a little bit limited on Electron products. They are very good and they're very fast and very responsive and, you know, excellent products for sure. But I think I've really enjoyed with modular just having everything in front of me and just being able to get at a lot of stuff without kind of, I don't know, having to go through lots of embedded menus. Although I do have, I mean, I'm using the Oxy One now, which is a lot of menu diving, but I don't mind menus massively, but I do really like having plenty of hands-on. And yeah, the Electron stuff, I mean, it does have plenty of hands-on, to be fair, but it also requires a particular sort of mindset. And if you take time out from Electron and then come back to them, there's always the kind of learning curve that you've got to get back into it again, and it takes time just to kind of reacquaint. The Octatrack, I still maintain, is the trickiest music tech product that I've ever had to learn, really. It just is such a unique and quirky approach. Takes time to kind of get your head around it, allocating memory and some odd qualities to it. Anyway, oh, sorry, wrong. I'll try to click on the thing. you go to bed with the Digitact and headphones. Yeah. Interestingly, I had the Digitact 1 here and the Octatrack side by side, and the Digitact sounded so much better. I guess it was just because it was a more modern converters, perhaps, various reasons, perhaps under the hood. But I mean, the Octatrack doesn't sound bad. It's just the Digitact did sound better. And speaking of sounding good or sounding better, that's the thing about this Monumatic. Whatever the technology is, whatever the converters, whatever's being used on it, it does sound really good. And I hope that tonight's video has kind of demonstrated some of that. I mean, it is quite an extraordinary and quite a flexible and good sounding device. Yeah. Right, I think I've waffled on for far too long. So if you are new here, which I doubt many of you are, but if you are, then please consider subscribing and click that stinking bell if you really must, to be alerted when I do go live or upload a video. There will be more things coming on my channel. This Mutable Instruments, the Mutable Challenge series, for one, the gig coming up, the Rack Records event. I noticed Get Jervis is in the chat room, or he was, but he's going to be helping film that for me, which I'm really grateful for. He helped film the last one, which, if you haven't seen that, the Rack Records launch, that's on my channel. Some excellent camera work from Jason and from Katie Davis as well, who also helped. That I beat. Yes. So yeah, Jason be brilliant. Really, as you've seen with Jason stuff, he's excellent with cameras and all that kind of stuff. So great to have him. And also Tom Curtin, who's here earlier, he also is going to be helping with the sound, as I mentioned earlier. Yeah, okay. What else, if there's anything else? Oh yes, I'm sorry, I did say earlier that I would take any questions. If anyone has any questions or would like me to do anything with the Monumatic before I go, now is the time. So please put double Qs in your question, just so I can see with my failing eyesight. Yeah, I'm still holding out from wearing glasses, like reading glasses. I can just about get by without them, but it's kind of getting worse. I did go to the opticians. They told me anybody who's sort of like over 45 to 50 who says that they don't need reading glasses, the optician told me, they said they're lying. It happens to us all. So you youngsters out there, your eyes are going to go into decline. It's a cheerful thing to say, but yeah. I'm trying to resist. I'm thinking that if I give in, then my eyes are then just gonna start getting worse. So oh, hey, that's not a bad idea. Just like sort of wear it on a chain and then just have a little look. Oh, Grace Griffin, let me see what you're saying. Sorry if I missed this, but have you tried changing MIDI channel? It was the fiddliest thing about the Monumatic. Okay, great. Okay, so changing the MIDI channel, I mean, is a question of holding the shift button down and then using the resonance knob. And then there's a little flash, like this button here flashes. And like, so if you turn it all the way to the left, it's in like Omni mode. Then I turn it once, MIDI channel 1, MIDI channel 2, MIDI channel 3, MIDI channel 4. And then, yeah, I moved up through a bit quickly then. So, yeah, it's fiddly. But it's not too bad. Monocle and a pocket watch. Yeah, I can see that about. But I'm actually thinking a monocle. Do they still make monocles? I mean, a lot of the time I'm all right, but like say with the Oxy screen, like when you've got like a black screen with white text and then occasionally it does like a highlight on the text. That's the bit that's always a little hard to see. So a little monocle, just have a little peep. I have somewhere, I've got a clip-on magnifying screen. I'm just trying to think. I've hidden it though, because this magnifying screen, because I'm in an attic, and someone said as the sun comes in, if it goes through the magnifier, you could set your studio on fire. So I've hidden it. Now I can't find it. I need another magnifying glass to find it. Yeah, modular monocle man. Oh, yeah. So yeah, okay. I think I should go really. Yeah, I'm enjoying myself now. Any more questions before I go? I'll try and maybe play out something as well. But yeah, just to kind of mention again about the Monumatic, what a brilliant, absolutely brilliant piece of design, super playable, packed full of useful, brilliant sounding oscillator modes. The reverb sounds great, filters sound great. Yeah, it's a winner, I think. Okay. All right, I'm going to go. Thanks, everyone. And, well, I know we'll be seeing some of you soon. I know we'll be seeing Dots at, they're coming to our event on the 25th. So just if you missed that earlier, the Rack Records Machina Bristronica event is on the 25th of September. I think there are only 7 tickets left. So if you are on the fence about coming, don't delay. And what's this? Does Jason Mayo wear a cape and sleep in a coffin? Yeah, I think he does, actually. I did hear that he does. So yeah, yes. So yes is the answer. But I'm really, I'm fascinated by this event that we're holding, to see how people like Jason, to see what he's going to do. Oz from Expert Sleepers as well. I think he's bringing his saxophone that he's going to play through some modular stuff. Alex from WMD, he's brilliant. If you've watched any of the WMD live streams and the things that Alex has been involved in, so he's great. Richard Nickel from Pittsburgh Modular, a brilliant creative musician. And just seeing them using, I guess they're going to be using stuff that they've made, but maybe with other stuff as well. But just to see what they're all going to kind of come up with is really nice. Okay. Oh, thanks, Wagyu, just for sharing the information one more time. Again, there's not many tickets left, and yeah. Also, there is one more thing I'd like to mention. On the Saturday night of Machina Bristronica, after the event has finished, there will be Machina's own after party happening in the Strange Brew nightclub. That's going to be going on until about 3 a.m. But for some of you who might be a little bit bleeped out by that time, my surf band, the Rumbelows, are playing in the canteen, which is next door to Elevator Sound, and we're playing there on that Saturday night. So I know that a bunch of people who are coming to Machina will be coming to that gig as well. So if you are coming, please come. You can always, we're playing, I think, at 10 p.m. Well, I know we're playing at 10 p.m. So if you can actually watch us, and then it's just a short walk down the road to Strange Brew if you want to catch some of the after party there. But yeah, come and see the Rumbelows. This is so good. I don't talk about Rumbelows very much. It's a party band that I'm in, surf band. Jason Jervis, Get Jervis, knows about the rumbelows. He recorded us a long time ago. Oh. You can do both. You can do both, really. You can come from, it's all really walking distance. You can come from the main event where Machina is, in a place called Document, short walk up to the canteen, and then from the canteen, a short walk then to Strange Brew. So you can get it all in. It'll work, you know. I mean, then you've got to be up for the second day of Bristronica, the Sunday. You know, but yeah, come on, it's going to be good. We're going to have a proper good old time. Yeah. Okay, right. I think that's everything. Thanks, everyone. We're gonna. It's a good month ahead. This month coming, yeah. There's a bunch of things going on actually. So I'm quite excited. And also, just finally on that, just keep an eye out on my channel. I'm not sure when I'm going to actually post it, but yeah, I've got a lot of episodes of the Mutable Challenge, including 5 that I filmed on Saturday in Rotterdam at the Dutch Modular Fest, which was truly fantastic. And yeah, okay, right, lovely. Thanks everyone. Thanks so much for joining me, and see you all soon. Cheerio.